along with Mrs. Endicott and some other believers. Apparently, Varetsky uses every trick in the book. Planchettes spelling messages, voices coming through her, rapping sounds, spirit writing and all. It's ridiculous. Do you want me to go along with Jenny?
No, Mrs. Endicott might let slip that you and I are sisters, and that could make Madame V suspicious. After I've had a chance to investigate, we'll figure out how to expose her and let Jenny and the others down gently. I'll come by tomorrow night after it ends. Good evening, Mrs. Winthrop. Welcome to Madame Varetsky's salon.
Why, aren't you Alice Marshall? I thought you were in New York. What are you doing at Madame Varetsky's?
I decided to come home to be with my family, and Mrs. Endicott kindly provided me with a reference to Madame Varetsky. I just started today as her secretary.
I'm glad to see that you're back in Boston with your family. I never approved of your going to New York, and I know your mother didn't like it either. You must be so glad, my dear, to be working for Madame. She helps so many people with her gifts.
Won't you take a seat in the salon, and I'll see that some tea is brought to you. Mrs. Endicott has already arrived. Madame will be in shortly.
Thank you, dear. She seems like a nice girl. What on earth made her go to New York? Did her husband or fiance die in the war?
Worse than that. He survived but suffers from shell shock. He's living at home with his parents and doesn't even know who she is. Both she and her sister were engaged to English boys because they went to school in England and spent summers there with their cousins. Her sister's fiance died, and Alice's, well.
Oh dear, those poor girls. Still, it's the best that she's back in Boston with her family instead of New York. I must say, she looks a bit flashy with the short hair and the rouge. Hopefully being back in Boston will civilize her again.
She's a nice girl and fond of her family, but she's always been headstrong.
Like so many girls since the war. In my day...
Yes. But Alice Marshall wasn't just living in New York. She was running a detective agency there. So unsuitable. So when her sister Louise asked me to recommend her to Madame Varetsky for the secretary's job, I was happy to help her dear mother to bring her back to Boston.
A detective agency. She must have had some exciting adventures. And of course, since the war, so many girls don't have fiancés or husbands to help them settle down. I know my poor dear Arthur would have made a wonderful husband.
I know, dear. Madame Varetsky will help us to talk to your Arthur and my Douglas tonight, which will be such a comfort. Mrs. Endicott, Mrs. Winthrop, I think you know my cousin, Genevieve Gallery.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Alice, it's so wonderful that you're working for Madame Varetsky. She helps so many of us that have lost our loved ones that passed over. If I couldn't come here to talk with Edward, I don't know how I would survive.
I haven't seen all her work yet, but I have heard amazing things about her.
I understand, Alice. I was an unbeliever once, but now I've seen and heard Edward. I know it's all true.
We don't want to have unbelievers in our session. It disturbs the spirits, and sometimes they don't appear. You must open your mind and your heart in order to see. Yes, Mrs. Endicott. Jeepers, these poor saps are farther gone than I expected.
Shh, Madame Varetsky.
Silence all. Take each other's hands and open your minds and hearts to the spirits on the other side who wish to reach us tonight. Is someone here with us tonight?
Edward, is it you, darling?
Arthur?
My noises. Ancient Egyptian goddess of life and death, I will be your spirit guide tonight. All the spirits who come will speak through me. One knock means yes, two means no. If another guide comes, the bell will ring 3 times again.
The planchette. It's spelling something. M-O-T-H-E-R.
Oh, Arthur, is it you, my dear? Arthur, dear, it's Mother here. Are you happy on the other side?
All is peaceful and all is harmonious. There is no wars. We will meet up again in this beautiful place, Mother.
Arthur, are you still there? Don't leave.
Arthur has gone. There is one here who seeks Jenny.
Edward? Oh, Edward, I miss you so, darling.
Do not be sad, Jenny. Remember our happy times together.
L-A-K-E. How often I think of rowing on the lake with you on all those rainy afternoons. S-T-R. Strawberries. Oh, yes, darling, I do remember us having strawberries and cream for our tea in the summer house in the rain. How I miss you in those happy days. Goodbye. Oh, Edward, don't go yet. We have so many things to talk about.
Edward is gone.
Isis has gone. I am Amun-Ra. There is a very sad woman in this room whose last words to her husband before he left were harsh.
Oh, Douglas, how I wish I could take back those angry things I said to you the day you left. Can you ever forgive me?
Douglas is no longer with us. He has passed back beyond the veil.
Douglas, please come back so I can apologize, so we can talk again as we used to do.
Did the spirits come? I think they must have. I am so tired. It is always such a strain for me to use my gift.
Oh, yes, madame. My Edward was here, and Mrs. Endicott's husband, Douglas.
Douglas!